Oilerslive podcast. 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 Oil-
Hey, and welcome to the Oilers Live podcast. I'm Michael. I'm your host. 10:30 start today. I guess a little bit late. Game's been over for a little while. You can say maybe I just wanted everybody to have a chance to cool down after the game, and take some time. We're going to be taking calls again tonight. SPR, the Oil Night, might call in. And as usual, anybody in Twitter land or listening live on Oilers.live, or we're streaming live on Facebook now and YouTube, you can all join in. Or if you go onto Twitter and you click on the video below, you can go there and it opens up the Periscope app. Last time we went live last Thursday, we had a little bit of chat in there, which was good. It's not all going to be positive tonight. We know that. Quite the game. Got lots to say. Hopefully we hear from most of you. As usual, we're going to start with a few different things. Always plugging this. It's the Oilers Live Cup is coming December 9th to the downtown community arena in Edmonton. 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. is the game time. It's going to be Team Megathread with Mike Dursa captaining Team Megathread, and Team Heavy Hockey. That's me captaining Heavy Hockey. We've still got room for skaters, so if you get a chance to register, please do. There's a couple folks that have registered and I can't seem to get a hold of. I need their jersey size and preferred number. So if you've registered, check your email and get back to me in terms of your skill level, because Mike Dursa and I are going to be doing. I would like to do next Thursday on the live show. I'd like to do a live draft for the Oilers Live Cup. So we are going to talk some hockey tonight. Enough with the Oilers Live Cup. Oh, where do we start today? New background, by the way. I did after the hockey game. I've had a bit of a busy night. I did go and play hockey myself tonight. Had a game much like the Oilers game. Defense could not get me the puck. I played forward. Normally I'm a D-man, but I played forward on this team. And defense couldn't get me a puck. We couldn't get anything going. We had a poor showing. I spent some time in the box, a little bit of frustration. Anyway, that's the kind of game it was. Let's talk about the hockey game. Uh, I was watching a game first. Of course, the first little bit was kind of trade some chances. Connor McDavid gets that goal, and I was up and out of my seat. I suspect, like a lot of you, and was pretty excited to see, what was going on. McDavid, of course, didn't score in the first game. Scores today. Great goal, and good steal, good goal. But that's pretty much where the fun ended. You can't. You can't be in the box against a team like Boston. Whether we want to admit it or not, that Pasternak goal was beautiful. It was a pretty nice one, through the legs. And then, Talbot, I don't know that he had a chance. Actually, he got more of that than I thought he would. But Pasternak finished it off. Good little interview, too. Just trusted his hands on that one. And that's pretty much that's the game story, I guess, tonight, right? Like defense just wasn't good enough. You can't have a team that can't get the puck up to the forwards. I see McDavid flying through the middle, and he's got his hand in the air, just pass me the puck. We've all played some rec hockey, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us, and we've all had a couple of high flyers on our team. And what do you do when you're out there? You just get the guy the puck. Just make sure it's tape to tape and get him the puck, and let him do his magic. I mean, you have just a chance to give. I don't. This he's the best player right now, hands down. You got a chance to give him the puck, just give him the puck. Be looking for him and make the tape-to-tape pass. But we can't seem to get that done. When your best puck mover is a rookie who we're not sure is going to be past 9 games, we got a problem. And I am, if you commented on a tweet I did last night, which was following the game stories on Twitter. This is arguably the most important game of the year, as everybody was talking. There was a lot of folks out there that were just really negative about the team and our chances this year. And I think, hey, I got to tell you, I think we're a better team than we were last year. Not because we got better players, but I think we're just better than we were. We're better than we played, and that's just not showing tonight. And again, we could talk about, and I'm sure some of you that call in will talk about Benning, right? We can talk about Benning. We can talk about defense. We can talk about the inability or the inactivity of the GM to do anything when a guy like Sekera goes down on defense. Do we need to do something? Do we need to call up Gravel, right? Or Ethan Bear? What happens after 9 games? A lot of questions yet, and keep in mind, though, because it's pretty apocalyptic on Oilers Twitter. It is still game 2, and it's early in the season. We played Boston, and don't let that first game of the season fool you. Hate Marchand or not, he's a talented player. He gets under your skin. Pasternak, wow. I mean, the guy's got 30 goals in him, if not 50 this year. It's a good team, and Halak. I mean, he might be a backup goalie, but he let in one goal last game he played, and one goal again tonight. He could easily be a starter. So we're going to play an early one, I guess, on Saturday against the Rangers, who I think they finally won a game tonight. I was, as I said, I just got back from hockey myself, which is why a little bit of a late start tonight. Um, so the Rangers, they've had a poor start. This looked like it was going to be a tough team to play. I mean, they did beat San Jose, I guess, tonight, but Vegas is down to 1-4. I mean, they're a team everybody guessed would be in the top half. Anaheim, who everybody thought would be in the bottom half of our Pacific Division, is in the top half. So it's really a mix of everything today. So in the NHL, the only one surprise, much to our chagrin, I guess, is the Maple Leafs are doing what Toronto media expected they would do, which is score a lot of goals. And hopefully that's about as much Leafs talk as I have tonight. I am going to open up the phone lines if you want to call in. It's 587-907-5483. Chat on Twitter. There's going to be a lot of you chatting. Hopefully, we've already have Mr. Peros, Safety NHL Peros. He's already rated the live feed unsafe tonight, so I think that's a good thing. Anyway, you know what? I completely expect some of these phone calls tonight to be of the negative variety. Maybe we got some good ones. What do you think about the Oilers' chances today? Puck luck. I mean, talk a little bit about that. A couple of posts, right? Of course, the Caggiula off the skate on the penalty kill. I mean, that's just a bad bounce, right? I mean, those things go either way, but I always believe you make your own luck. That's just an excuse if you think it's about things not going your way. It is what it is, right? We definitely need to be considerably better. Again, 587-907-5483. Call in and I'll get you online. I know a few of you are watching. I saw Sean SPR join the live feed on Twitter. He can call. Already Kelly's commenting on the Periscope feed, suggesting Anaheim lost three in a row the year after they came back from Europe in 2007. Then they went to the finals. It's game two, guys. Right? I mean, we can hate on the Oilers and everything as much as we want. It's still game two. There are some serious things that need to be fixed. This team has got to come out better, right? Like we have to. I thought maybe we had that solved. To be honest, when when McDavid scored that first goal, and we didn't. I do. I've got a caller in, and all I've got is angry. So I'll get you on right now. Hello, and welcome to Oilers Live. Who's calling? Hey, James. How are you? You called in last time, right? Couple of weeks ago. Yeah, a couple weeks ago. What do you go by on Twitter? Are you on Twitter? I assume you're on Twitter. Yeah. Oh, hey. All right. Okay, I meant to ask you last time, and then we hung up. And all right. Well, thanks for calling in. So, give me your rundown of this game. Are you? I mean, obviously not the best game, but what's your thoughts? Yeah.
are setting these guys up for failure. And he is just destroying Puljujarvi's confidence.
Yeah.
I want to fire Todd McLellan. Can I fire Todd McLellan? Can I arrange a, let's get rid of Todd?
Yeah.
Like
I would say if we
sorry,
put
that's my rant.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on. If we put and I apologize for this, James. You did this rant, and I didn't even have. I had the audio on. The audio for you went on for everybody on the live stream as soon as you said, "Can we fire Todd McLellan?" And but that was the gist of your rant, and I can tell you I heard, and if anybody was streaming on the radio part, they heard as well. Hold on one second. So having a little bit of audio today, audio problems. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so you're right. You're right about the practices. Of course, Jack Michaels got us, a whole storm brewing after he tweeted about the lines. So did you get a chance to see any of the game? Sorry, I missed that, or you missed most of the game?
No, I saw none of it. I've got the highlights, but even that was I was kind of distracted. So I watched McDavid's goal, and God, do I love watching McDavid walk around Chara. That is a beautiful thing. And Pasternak's first goal was amazing. I just got to say kudos. That is just an awesome move that he, I think it was Benning that he walked around.
Yeah.
But, it was just a all-star move, and he's an all-star player. And, you just got to say kudos. I heard stupid penalties happened and whatnot, but I didn't see it, so I can't comment on that game specifically. What I can tell you is I am pissed off with the mental games.
Yeah.
A coach is there to be a stabilizing force, to be to be a rudder. He's driving the ship. On occasion a wave's going to come over the bow, but you got to be there to steer the ship, right? And he's not doing it.
So James, I got somebody waiting in the wings. I got Cliff waiting in the wings. But I guess, James is telling us fire McLellan. You do it right away.
Yeah.
No hesitation.
He's from my understanding, he's taken over the power play as well. He's not allowing his power play specialist to do his power play. He's brutalizing the practices from my understanding of people who are watching him, and I'm not happy with it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, James. Hopefully we get you a call in next time. Thanks and that's at -8. What is it? At -8?
24.
24. Awesome. Thanks for the call.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Cliff. How are you?
Hey, mate. I'm good. First of all, thanks for doing this podcast and this live Oilers feed from all the fans out there. You're doing a good job, and keep it up.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So, let me know what's your thoughts. What's your thoughts on the game? Did you watch the game today? And you on Twitter? If you're on Twitter, give yourself what's your Twitter name? Maybe you get a couple.
No. I'm not a Twitter guy.
Okay.
I just do Instagram. But I guess I should get on the Twitter to follow the Oilers. But I thought it was a pretty good game. I thought the guys tried really hard, and I thought they were, probably not as good as the Bruins, but not too much behind. I thought that if things went the other way, we could have won it, and it's 2 games in, and things like firing the coach and firing the manager really shouldn't be in the mix at 2 games in. We should have some faith, and I thought we were pretty good. Our young guys were good. Lucic was good. It's not doom and gloom on my perspective.
Yeah, I think thanks, Cliff, because it is somewhat refreshing. If you're not on Twitter, then maybe you don't get all of the negativity. Maybe you do. It gets pretty nasty on there. I put a tweet out yesterday. I mean, since the game with New Jersey, if you've been watching Twitter, I mean, we might as well begin a new rebuild. I listened to a little bit of the show on 1260. I had a game tonight shortly after the Oilers game, so I rushed off to that and threw on 1260 on my way to the game. And the callers calling in, it's pretty negative out there. So it's good to hear, somebody who views it a little bit positively. I kind of, one of the things I thought about the game, I try to take some positives out of it, right? I mean, you can't be a fan and just be, well, you can be, I guess, but there's not a lot of fun in it. You can't be a fan and just be negative all the time, right?
Of course.
And so, there was some positives. Everybody's been pretty negative about Caggiula this year. And I want to say I thought he played a hell of a game tonight. He was bouncing and crashing. There should have been a call against like a slash when he got slashed to the back of the legs. You'd hope for something there. I thought that and maybe you felt the same. I thought the reffing maybe could have been a little bit more balanced tonight. And it wasn't.
For sure.
Yeah.
Caggiula was fired up from the first step. I mean, I totally understand, where the negative energy was coming out from the first game because we were just totally behind the 8 ball. But yeah, I thought we were pretty good tonight. Like Caggiula was definitely good. And if a couple of pucks went our way, then it could have been a different story. But yeah, I still think we have a fair way to go, and our defense definitely has some areas to improve.
Yeah, because it's not all positive. That's for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're still 0-2, which is crap. I mean, you expect more from a team that has McDavid, Draisaitl, Puljujarvi. If there was something that you could take in the next game, what do you think the Oilers need to work on between now and Saturday morning against New York?
I think there was a lot of puck. I'm not like a hockey guy. I'm kind of new to the game, but it felt like it was a little bit sloppy. Some of our passes got they just stuffed up some of their own passes throughout the game. They could work on just I don't know what it's called, but just controlling the puck a little bit better and controlling it between their passes, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And what's your? This is going to be the theme tonight, I guess, because it's been a topic of much discussion. Any thoughts on Todd McLellan? If you had the power to drive the GM seat today, would you keep him, let him go, or you just don't have an opinion?
For sure.
Yeah.
Nah. I gotta back him. Especially at this point in time. I don't know, on one of those other shows, or the facts are like we've had X amount of coaches in the last 10 years. It's been quite a few. So although he's pretty stubborn at some points, and there's some pretty silly decisions that he comes up with, it seems just out of stubbornness. I don't know. You've got to give him a chance. If it gets to like really dire straits this month, because obviously it's a pretty hard month. But I think 4-10 is a pass mark. And you know, if we win this next game and then go back home and win a couple, then it could turn around pretty quickly here. Like, we've got firepower. Like, let's not forget that. So I'm backing Todd. Lay off. I know Edmonton is a big hockey market, but let's stay positive. And you know, it seemed like Lucic was happy and playing good after, you know, a good game, and his head was right. So let's try to back the boys and let's have a good season.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for the call, Cliff. So we're 1-1 for backing Todd tonight. So that was Cliff. We've got Adam calling in, and Adam wants to the screening here. It's hard to read exactly what, but you want to talk about maybe some close chances with a couple of the players. Is that right, Adam?
Kind of mostly just on Todd and a couple like player decision making, kind of, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, did you watch the game tonight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Your thoughts? Quick thoughts on the game.
I honestly just feel Todd's lost the whole room, if I'm being honest. I mean, I just don't see. I feel like he just got the type of ego where he thinks that his way is only the right way. And I think a couple of the players on the ice just like don't feel the fire to play for him, if I'm being honest. Guys like Draisaitl look lazy. I mean, Jesse, I feel like Jesse has an awesome preseason, and then he comes out to start the season on the third line. I don't really see the support from Todd, if I'm being honest. I mean,
yeah. So I'll tell you right now that his play of Puljujarvi is a constant disappointment to me. I mean, this is after the preseason. I mean, Puljujarvi came to play, and he just didn't get any good minutes tonight, I thought. Anyway, you know what? Carry on your thought. So you think he's lost the room? You think it's just a couple players, or you think it's all the players, or what's your thought?
Like, it's hard to tell, right? Because like guys like Leon, when he's not on his game, it's very obvious to tell. But, like, there's guys that go by, like, they could pass, like Kara, Strome, whatever. But it's like guys like Jesse's, like, those are the guys that are going to be the future of our team, right? And he's like chucking them on the third line after. It's like usually when you play well, you should get rewarded and get the minutes you deserve. And Jesse isn't getting those. And guys like, you look at Benning.
Yeah. I
mean, I feel for the guy. I mean, I thought he's maybe going to be something, but these 2 games, nothing's gone his way. Very bad decision making. You'd think they'd sit him. Guys like Russell. Okay, yeah, maybe he makes $4 million a year. But you look at New York Rangers. Look at them. They're scratching Kevin Shattenkirk. So if they have the ability to do that, why can't we do that here in Edmonton?
So Adam, we've got a couple callers today, so that's good. I've got another guy waiting. Jay is waiting. Quickly, you know, if you could make a change for next game, what do you think the Oilers need to do? Who would you bring in? Who would you take out? And then I'm going to. I've got my own thought as to what your answer is, but we're going to keep on the Todd trail tonight, just because it's a topic of conversation. So first off, who's in, who's out next game against New York? If
I would. Sorry?
If you're the coach, obviously.
If I'm the coach, I'm gonna drop Benning. I'm gonna bring in Garrison, just for more experience, simpler play, and honestly, I'm dropping. I think Yamamoto needs to watch a game from the top, to be honest, and I think Jesse could move up to the second line and maybe drop Chase on either the third or fourth.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's basically what I think.
Yeah, awesome. And keep Todd for 10 or let him go right away?
I give him 10 games. If we're not over 500, then I think it's time to go.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for the call, Adam. Oh, are you on Twitter?
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
What's your name on Twitter so we can maybe give you a follow if we're not?
My name on Twitter is Zuniga, so ZUN IGA
2110.
2110.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Okay, thank you.
And that was Adam. We're gonna move to Jay here. Jay, let me know when you are on. Jay, you should be on.
What's happening, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Just another night after a little bit of gallivanting and rabble rousing.
All right. Well, so did it make up for the game tonight?
Never.
So your thoughts on the Oilers play today? We did have Cliff called in and had some positives from it. Do you have any positives you take from tonight's game?
Oh wow. I was just calling in about the negatives. Positives. Let's think here. Well, McDavid, of course, he's always all world, and we don't deserve him. That's a straight up fact. We don't.
So that's interesting thing to say. Is it the organization? Is it us as fans?
The organization.
Yeah.
We do as fans.
Yeah.
Of course, we do as fans.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot, and we've supported through thick and thin. We bitch a lot on Twitter, but we have every fucking reason to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a homer. I mean, if you listen to any of the podcasts, I'm as big a homer as anybody, and I try to be reasonably positive about most games, and this it's hard sometimes, right? I mean, 11 of 12 years obviously is what we always talk about, and
I had a Twitter exchange with Mr. John Short in the last day or two.
Yep.
And he kind of alluded to the fans turning sour, and I was like, with all due respect, Mr. Short, like, what the fuck do you expect? And I didn't put it in those words because he's a legend and whatnot, but you be civil and whatnot, but this is not my entire, well, actually, you know what? Aside from maybe 3 or 4 years, my entire adult life, and I'm 38,
yeah,
is just absolute fucking heartbreak from this team. I can think of 06. I can think of 2017. I can think of winning the draft lottery. What else can I think of as an adult? Not much.
Yeah. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, right? Like it can be certainly. Sorry, I'm getting chirped on Twitter right now by the Oil Knight. Anyway, sorry.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Jerk. So the oh, now I lost my train of thought. I get what you say. I mean, it's been tough to be a fan. We stay fans. I'm still a fan. I'm gonna go. I'll be at the home opener and a number of games this year. But yeah, you're right. It's tough to be a fan. Hey, I'm sorry to cut you short tonight, Jay. We've actually got quite a few people calling, and so with the theme, of course, tonight is do you keep McLellan? How long? Maybe you're on his side, and then who would you have in or out for next game?
With some of actually, what I originally called to talk about was Cliff. He had stated that he's a fairly new fan. He brought up one really important word, and that is stubborn.
Yeah.
We have been stuck with very stubborn coaches over, the last, say, 10 years. And Todd McLellan is no different. And it sucks. And yeah, stubborn. And, good on you, Cliff, for realizing it early on. You're one of us now.
Yeah, yeah. And Cliff, stay off Twitter. It's nothing
Yeah.
but negativity on that.
Anyways, I'll let you go, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay. Thanks for calling. I think that we've got Mary calling in. Is that Mary?
Sweetheart, how are you doing?
Good.
Oh man, it's going to be a regular thing. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, you bet. You bet. And now it's a bit of a chirp for the upcoming Oilerslive Cup. And oh crap, Kelly's calling for more Leafs talk on Twitter.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Tavares all the time, 24/7.
24. That's what I should do. The 24/7 Tavares pod. Apparently, and I don't know if you heard this today, Mike. Apparently, the topic of conversation out of the East was who would you rather have, McDavid or Matthews? And clearly they're believing in that team out there. But to me, hands down, McDavid, and any Oilers fan that has had a chance to watch him, he's just been outstanding from day one. Anyway, that's as far as I want to go with that conversation. But I just thought I'd bring it up because what an idiot.
I'll just say one thing. On
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Matthews doesn't score that first goal for Edmonton. It's Connor Speed that scores that goal for Edmonton.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, his goal tonight, right? And that time he flew by Chara. Like,
yeah.
we are not talking. We're not talking a guy like an NHLer flying by me on defense, right? Like, we're talking an NHLer flying by another NHLer. It's just insane. I mean, we're lucky enough to watch him. There's just I want to say on Twitter right now, there's way too much Leafs chat on my live feed. So you guys stop that right now. Anyway, your thoughts on the game tonight, Mike? And it's, by the way, for everybody listening, it's Megathread Mike Dursa, who is captain of Team Megathread for the Oilerslive Cup. He probably will start his career as captain at 0-1. But carry on. What's your thought on the game tonight?
Well, I kind of think when it comes to the Bruins, you got to play a more disciplined game. Puljujarvi got kind of steamrolled there early in the first. That sort of changed the momentum. We couldn't kill a penalty, and we couldn't score on a power play. So Puljujarvi taking that penalty after, I think, as kind of wanted to give a little bit of payback to the Bruins for the hit he took. That was not a good penalty. Got to stay out of the sin bin, and the special teams that we heard all summer long that they were going to be so much improved, and all that let the team down tonight, and that was the difference of the game.
So,
other than that, I thought 5-on-5 we were okay, but yeah.
Let's take some positives from this. I mean, the special teams, they might not have scored, right? But they shot a little bit more, right? I mean, I think we had more pucks on net than we've had in, say, 84 games tonight on special teams. I thought, Clefbaum had a nice shot on net there. That good save by Halak. Nuge had the nice cross ice to McDavid. It just sort of bobbled a bit. I think they'll score on that one overtime. Nuge, of course, hit the post. Is this a little bit of rust, maybe? I mean, can we give him that, or you think the setup and I mean, I don't know. I'm asking what your thought is on that. What do you think?
Well, if we're going for moral wins and counting zone time as moral wins, I guess that's something you have there. But in terms of dangerous scoring chances in the whole game, I don't think Halak really had to do a lot tonight. I think he got off kind of easy, um, other than Connor blowing by him and putting it in. And the one thing about that breakaway goal, just touch on it for a second, is normally if you go by Chara, you don't really go by him and his stick. And by the time Chara turned, the puck was already in the net.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and watching Chara, right? Like the guy is a giant, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't seem though to have the big game that he sometimes normally has, right? Like he didn't seem the force. Obviously, he's what 41, 42. How old is he now?
He's a year behind me. He's 41.
41. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
he's not a kid anymore playing, and he's playing in a kids league. This is it's not an old man's league anymore. I think these guys, you look at and with all respect for his skill level, but you look at Garrison. I mean, there's nothing more noticeable than putting him out there when the young guys are playing. He just doesn't have the speed to keep up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were touching on the Benning thing there. I think this team needs to do something drastic, like maybe let go of Garrison and call back up Bear. I don't know how you get Bear back in this equation, but they need help, like stat 911 on that back end.
Yeah, here's my big concern right now, right? I mean, we can call. Sorry, I'm reading some of the comments on Twitter at the same time. We can call up Bear, and put him in. Keep Bouchard in there. We can't. We can't be playing hockey games against the Boston Bruins, against the Predators, against the Jets, with a couple of guys like Bear and Bouchard in the lineup. But the same thing goes. We can't be playing games against these guys with, I Mike, you've listened to my show. You know I'm about as positive a person as you can get. But Benning is awful. He's downright awful, right? Like how he's still on the team is beyond me. When they re-signed him, I was upset, and I feel like they've given him, this coaching staff is all about, and I know SPR will get on this at some point, but it's all about rewarding mediocrity sometimes, right? Like you've got a guy like Puljujarvi who comes into camp, he looks outstanding, he's leading lines, and then you put him on the third line, play him limited minutes in shitty situations, and you expect to make a player out of him. Because he is a player. Don't get me wrong. If he goes, this is not Yakupov, right? Puljujarvi's got skill and he's got a shot. This is not Yakupov, right? Like, and he can.
He's also got speed and he's got size too to go with that.
Exactly.
So it's right. Assets you can't teach.
And if he goes somewhere, you guarantee he's the guy that scores the 3-goal games against us every time he's in our barn, right? And McLellan just doesn't, I'm maybe not on the well, you know what, I am. If I would have let McLellan go early on, right? Like I would have let him go before the season started. I was jazzed when we got Golitzin, we got Yanni, and we got Viveros. I was pumped up. I thought, hey, here's a guy, that's going to be, He's got this great team behind him. But we're doing this, 2 games in, and I don't see a lot that's changed. I still think this is an incredibly talented team, but we're just not getting the right things out of them. And as a coach, look, you can't be hoping. You can't. Don't put your stock in hope. Like, get out there, have a game plan that works. Get on with Viveros and watch some game tape and see what the rest of us fans see, and then change up the power play, right? You know, for a whole season last year, the fans, the media, everybody said, put Nuge on the line with McDavid. McLellan waited until the season meant nothing before he did that. We had one stretch of 4 or 5 games where he put Draisaitl on the second line last year, right before Christmas, and guess what? We won, didn't we? We had a nice little stretch. In fact, as we went into the Christmas break, I think we were all a little bit pumped up that we might, see the team we expected to see, and now, I don't know. What do you think of Caggiula's game tonight?
He was physical, definitely. He was engaged. That's good to see. You kind of hope that, Zach Cassian would pick up on Caggiula's game and feed off of that and, get that going. I with Drake Caggiula, just to me, it's his hands sometimes don't keep up to his head. So that's my worry with Drake Caggiula.
But did he earn the right to play again next game?
I think so. I mean, he played the kind of game all you could ask. But the one thing though is that I kind of think if they're going to be in the penalty box, you need Kyle Brodziak, the guy they healthy scratched in the lineup to win faceoffs and help kill penalties. So who do you take out to accommodate that?
Yeah. And what's your thoughts? Like, who do you next game? Who's in? Who's out for this team? If you're coach, obviously. I mean, who knows what McLellan would do, but what would you do?
Yeah. Well, you gotta do something with that back end, and I don't think there's an easy answer there. I'm not sure Garrison is much of an upgrade, honestly, over Matt Benning. But what choice do they have? I mean, yeah. I don't know if you can send Garrison anywhere so that you can call up Ethan Bear and inject him into the lineup. To me, I wish Todd would have played Bouchard more. He played with a lot of poise. He makes those little passes to move the puck along like it's nothing. And Nurse and Russell will skate the puck out, and sometimes Clefbaum will make a pass, and Larson usually defers to Clefbaum. So I wanted to see more of Evan Bouchard tonight, honestly.
Yeah, I think we've got him for 9 games. That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Let's play him. I mean, we can't do any worse right now. I totally agree with you. Let's play him. He's clearly got the poise to be an NHLer. I was worried a little bit about his confidence. He made a nice rush tonight. He shot the puck right at the goalie, but you know what? He looked good. He had a good skate. It takes a little bit of confidence to do that. A little bit of poise. I think let's play him. Let's see. Put him on the power play. You can't go worse than 0-4, right? So
I don't know if you caught at the end of the game there, when they had the net empty, they had Nurse and him out there together at the end with the extra man on.
Yeah, I did. So one of the things that I happened to me tonight. I've been having audio issues tonight, by the way. So people have been saying the audio is a little bit low, and sorry for that. I'll get that fixed next time. It was in a bit of a rush to get online today. But one of the one of the things that happened to me was I was watching the game. I put it on PVR, and when I think I might miss the end of the game, I put it on PVR, and then I fast forward. I put it on the recording, and I fast forward to the end of to when it's so it's live, but I'm watching it being recorded, right? And it ran over into the next hour. So just as they got into the final like 2 minutes, it stopped on me, and then I went, and I didn't realize what had happened. So I went to the live channel. I found it first. It was on the because it was on the Oilers Sportsnet channel, and then damn it, it was 4-1. So I saw Bouchard on that for about, I'd say, a minute. I didn't see him do anything. They had the puck in the zone. When I caught back up to the game, it was 4-1. So I just shut it off and headed off to hockey. So kind of, audio, video troubles. That seems to be the theme for me tonight. You keep McLellan. How long do you keep him for?
Yeah, I think you have to see a little bit more than what we've got so far. I know some people are Dirtbag was on the Fire McLellan train after the first two periods of the first game against Jersey. I'm pretty sure, but no, I think you need to see a little bit more, see what kind of response you get. I would say tonight was a better overall game. I a little bit of the same old story though. The old cliche: you got to play a 60-minute game to win hockey games in the NHL, and they played I thought a good, probably about 45 minutes worth of hockey tonight.
So let's not forget.
We'll see what they have.
Boston's a good team, right? Like this is not, you go in and you might, against Boston, if you can be 500 against Boston, you did all right? Am I wrong? Or they've got a good team. They've got Halak's good goaltending. They're fast. Marchand, the guy's a good player. He's just a bit of an idiot, but he's a hell of a player. And don't let that first game fool you. But they're 3-1 for the season now, right? It's not they're going to be up there all year long. So curious though, would you let McLellan go if we're 1-10, 2-10?
Yeah. I don't think you can accept being down in that kind of basement dwelling and think that you're going to come out of it. This first road trip, if they're 500, I think he keeps his job. But man, if they're 3-10, to come out of the gates, I think you got to do something.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. The downside to that kind of a start and letting go of your coach is you're almost not going to recover from that, right? Your new coach comes in. Sometimes there's the odd time where maybe you get the systems right. Who knows? But it changes a lot, right? It changes a ton. I'm of a mixed feeling, right? We all we know.
Honestly, I don't know what goes inside that dressing room. What kind of coach he is inside the room. I wish we had more of an inside look at that. I don't know if he barks at them all the time and it just gets phased out, or if he's upbeat and positive, or what kind of guy he is. I really don't know. I think I have a better handle on what kind of coach Glenn Golitzin is by the antics we saw and the sticks throwing and all that than we know about Todd. I know last year we saw the one thing where he was pissed and kind of let them know and looked at them all kind of with the stink eye and all that stuff. But I'm not sure what kind of guy he is. I think with younger players coming up now, the old kind of Bobby Knight kind of coach, I don't know if that actually works anymore. I think you have to be sort of an upbeat, positive guy and encouraging and more that way than the old bear that's barking all the time.
So, uh, here's a thought, because we're into really through the first week of the season. Goals are way up. Do you have any concerns that this team is not put together for the type of league we're seeing this year? And what I mean by that is, like teams like Toronto and like the really fast teams, even Ottawa and Vancouver, who should be out of the games, right? In Montreal, that speed is getting them places that in the past we haven't seen. The guys, the Luciches of this world are having a harder time in this type of league, in my mind. Now I say all that, and Anaheim's playing they're playing really well. But I'd say I've watched a few Anaheim games. I'd say that's less about how well the team's doing and more about how well Gibson is doing. But do you know what I mean? Is this Oilers team built to play against? And Dash 8 says, Alex says, heavy hockey won the cup this year. He's right. But we still got to get through the regular season and hit the playoffs. Is this team? What's your feeling? Is this team built for the way the league is playing, at least regular season?
Well, what's going to have to change eventually here is Connor McDavid can't pull everybody along. Other guys got to contribute. The guys on his line have to contribute. The guys on the second line, like I'd like Dry's game a little bit better today than the first one. I've been okay with the way Luch just played the last two games. He's looking to put the puck on people's tape and get out of the zone, and he had one shift I saw in the second period where he fought the puck a little bit and couldn't get much happening there. But I've been pleasantly surprised with what I've seen out of him so far. He looks faster out there, and he's looking. The puck isn't like a hot potato for him this year. He's looking to make plays and put it on people's tape, and most of the time he's done that. Yamamoto, I thought, started to come on today, and
he had a better game today. Totally agree with you. Yeah.
I also liked a little bit more out of what I saw out of Yessi. He had a little bit more jump in his step, and there was one shift there where he looked a little clumsy with the puck again, but he's like a big puppy dog, and you gotta let him run. I think Strome and him might not. Sorry, I think Strome and him might not be the best pairing. I didn't like what I saw out of Strome again.
So here's let's get back on Puljujarvi for a second. People were freaking out when they had Puljujarvi on a line when Michaels tweeted out the Kara and Puljujarvi combo. I'm actually, I'm not against that. Like, Kara has played, I thought, well. Like, everything you want out of Kara, he does, right? He's he's a hard-nosed player. He's a big guy. He plays the puck well. I like his play.
Tonight after Jujar got hit,
yeah,
he was having trouble completing passes. I almost wonder if he was a little concussed.
Yeah, no, it took him a second to get up. I don't know if he was hoping for a call or what, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they missed out on the concussion protocol on that one for sure.
Yeah, it seems to be a thing of the past.
Yeah, well, they seem to not have a problem doing, putting McDavid through that. So, but what do you think? Maybe putting Kara and Puljujarvi together, or do you think Puljujarvi and Draisaitl? I do think Yamamoto had a better game tonight, but I still think he'd be served well. Maybe watching from up high for a game. You got Chase on. Maybe put Chase on in Brodziak, whatever. really stock up that fourth line and throw Puljujarvi up with Draisaitl. I just don't know why we're giving Yamamoto this promotion to the second line, if you want to call it a promotion, and for whatever reason, they won't put Draisaitl up there. I don't know. I mean, but to my other point, I wouldn't mind. And Kelly says on Twitter, he says, "What about putting Puljujarvi with some players who have actual skill?" I'm all for that, but I also like Kara and think if you're not going to put him on the second line with Draisaitl, then put him with Kara, because this whole discussion about him and Strome having chemistry, it's certainly not instant at this point. It's not instant chemistry. But your thoughts?
I have another question too. And what have we really seen out of Tyrati so far?
Well, so I haven't been. I thought he's played all right. Tyrati is in a tough position, right? Like he obviously playing with McDavid, the whole team has been, a little bit handcuffed offensively in 2 games, and I don't know if that's like, they talk about the puck, dying on somebody's stick, which was Lucic's problem last year, right? And to some extent,
yeah,
just, you like, I don't know if you saw Lucic carry the puck in on the power play today. That's not his game, right? Like, the puck will die.
No.
If he's the guy rushing the puck, it's going to die on his stick. He's good in the corners, and if he's going to drive to the net and use that big body, and in fact, he looked good in front of the net today on the power play, I thought, a couple times. But Ratty, on the other hand, the puck does not die with him. He gets it in the corner. He's made some nice plays. I've been actually, I've been really keen on him so far, and it would drive me nuts if we, after 2 games, don't keep him there. There was some discussion on the Twitter feed here about maybe McLellan likely putting Draisaitl back up with McDavid. Oh, please.
Yeah.
Please.
He did that in the third there a bit.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with in the game if you're trying to spark something, doing that. But for the most part, you have got to be running those guys on separate lines. And if you really want to have a good 1-2 line, try moving Puljujarvi up. Why not do that, right? I don't know.
Well, it was in preseason, but they had Puljujarvi and Yamamoto together, and I like the chemistry with the 2 of them with each other. They seem to be looking for each other and moving the puck, and there were some good things happening. I liked that. Yeah. Lucic there, there was that 4-on-4, and he threw him out with Draisaitl there, and he was like the train, just making room for Draisaitl.
Yeah,
it's good when he's moving his feet. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and I'm not as down on Draisaitl as some folks are, for sure. He needs to get. It's just like the whole team, right? Like we need to have a little string of some confidence, and it's a tough way to start the season, right? Like it's no excuse, but they played overseas, they come back, and anyway, I don't know. We're gonna see hopefully a different team on Saturday. It was good.
Sorry, I'm tired of all the built-in excuses like the schedule and how many days off. It is what it is. Let's get down to playing. We're terrible at afternoon games. Shut up. Just play the games and let's go.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you there. Hey, Mike, I'm going to, I think, take a break and, a couple minute break. And then when I get back, hopefully we get a couple more calls and then I'll call it a night. I was a little bit surprised. We had about 5 callers today, which is pretty good. And not a single one that was, incredibly negative. This is the first live show after a loss that we've seen. So, a lot of people, obviously were not too thrilled with how it went. So I was a little bit curious how it would go today. When I get back, it's going to be 2 minutes. I just want to take a quick break, see if I can adjust the audio. And then I'll take, hopefully we get a couple more people call, and hopefully not everybody drops off for the night. I see a couple people dropping off. I know it's getting late. It's 20 to 12 in Alberta. We've got some people on Eastern time and a few people from all over. I'm also streaming now on Facebook on the Oilerslive channel. If you go there, you can subscribe on Oilerslive channel, it's called. You can watch on Facebook. You can watch on YouTube. Please, if you do, go to YouTube and subscribe to the Oilerslive channel. I need 100 subscribers so that I can change the YouTube name. One of those little things on YouTube. And then, of course, Twitter, which is where the majority of people listen. And when we get back, hopefully we'll have a couple more callers. Thanks again for calling in, Mike, and Mary. Yeah. And one quick plug before I go on break, just catch everybody before they take off. Again, it'll be Mike, Megathread Mike, who's on the line right now, and myself going head-to-head with Team Megathread versus Team Heavy Hockey. And that's going to be December 9th at the Downtown Community Arena in Edmonton. We still have room for a couple skaters. I still need a volunteer for ref for the day, and then we're having an after party at the Hat on Jasper, a little pub there. It's going to be a fun day. I think we've got. I've had another 6 or so register as spectators and fans for the after party. So we're close to, I think, 70 people coming out, mostly Twitter folks, but anybody's welcome. If you don't know the registration link, reach out to me any which way. You can get me at michael@oilers.live is the email, or go to the website. There's a link on there. Mike, don't know if you want to call in a little bit, but I'm going to take a break. Thanks for calling.
Take care, buddy.
Yeah, you too. All right, so when we get back, take a couple more calls. Give me about 5 minutes. At 11:45 Mountain, I'll be back. If nobody calls in at that point, we'll maybe just shut it down for the night. Thanks everybody so far for listening. Hope you're back in 5.
Oilerslive podcast. Oilerslive podcast. Live Podcast. Oilers 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 Live Podcast.
Now, get ready to talk hockey. Streaming from the Oilers Live Studio. Subscribe or follow today.
Hey, and we're back. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better. I am trying to adjust the audio tonight, having a few audio issues. So I see I lost a number of folks. I've still got a few listeners. I'm not going to stay on much longer. If people are still calling in, I'll stick around. Talking Oilers hockey, of course, that's all we do 100% of the time. I'm going to do this all year, Thursdays, and the odd special occasion. We'll do a live pod. And of course, so if you go to Oilers.live or go to the YouTube channel, just search Oilers Live, one word. You can go subscribe there. Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Go Oilers Live, one word. Oilers Live channel, or you can go on the website and listen live. But there are a couple. I just want to point out. There's a few different pods we're going to have. So there's the Heavy Hockey Podcast, which I will host. And on the Heavy Hockey Podcast, I'll have guests, all sorts of guests. I've got a few people lined up. Recently, I've had like Shane Sander from the Hockey Writers. I've had, I had Jack Michaels actually right before the season started during preseason. I've had our friends David Staples and Bruce McCurdy. So I'll do that on the Heavy Hockey Podcast. That'll be the recorded podcast. Oilers Live, this particular one will be for the live show. And as I said, we'll do this every Thursday. We're going to start at usually about 10 p.m. Mountain. And I'll, on occasion have a guest in that we can call in and talk to. The call-in, of course, is 587-907-5483, which you can use right now. I've got, I can take callers. We've had 4 or 5 of you today, so thanks again, James, for calling in. That's at -8 24. He's called in a couple times. He's always got some good things to say. Earlier today, earlier in the show, we talked a little bit about McLellan. Of course, if you're on Twitter, Cliff is not, and thanks for listening, Cliff. Um, of course, Twitter is as negative a place for Oilers commentary as any, and that that's the McLellan conversation is a big deal there. Most people are calling for his head. I will tell you, I am not I'm not a big fan of McLellan. I would have let him go before the season started, but we didn't. We got ourselves, though. I think we've got a hell of a coaching squad with Viveros, Yanni, Gulletson, all accomplished guys. And if McLellan can get it within himself to listen to these guys and hear what they have to say and make the necessary changes, we've got ourselves a team this year. I think we've got the talent. Guys like Puljujarvi, Draisaitl, McDavid. These are all guys that I think a lot of teams would like to have. Lucic is better. There's no doubt about that. Talbot, it's hard to 8 goals in 2 games, but he's been excellent. In fact, that Pasternak goal, I thought he looked really good, really athletic. He looks like he's moving well and tracking well, but he just hasn't had the support that he probably should have. My big thing, if you're at all listening, is really this defense, and the target that I've got is Benning. I'm just not a big fan, and if I could make a change, that would be it. I do have the concern that we don't have the defensive squad right now to do what we need to do from a defensive standpoint, and we certainly we're not moving the puck up properly, and until we do, it's going to be a tough sled. It's going to be tough getting any offense out of this team, which is really hard to say when you got a guy, when you got the best player in the league. In the games that we've seen in the NHL so far this year, 3-4 goal games are not unusual. And if you got McDavid, you should maybe have a number of 3-4 goal games in them. And at least right now, when nobody seems to be playing defense. I know we're not playing any defense, but that might be a personnel issue. Anyway, I mean, this is. I think we fix that. Maybe fix a little bit of line combos. Fix the power play. Shane Sander commented on on one of my tweets earlier. Said the inactivity of Chiarelli in the off season was reason, and I'm paraphrasing, was reason to be upset. I don't necessarily agree with that. Or he said, if you thought the team was going to be better, I think, what, let me find it. I don't want to misquote Shane, because he's a hell of a good guy. Writes a lot for the hockey writers, and if you get a chance, go and listen to what he has to say. Okay, let's find it here. I will find it. Yeah, here we go. So, Shane says, where are you? Had a lot of comments on this particular one. He said, yeah, biggest game of the year, not so much, but just frustrating that an entire summer went by, the GM stood flat, and we're suddenly expecting this team to be better than they were a year ago. Yeah, I don't think it's a sudden expectation. This is where I disagree with Shane, and everybody's got their right to an opinion. I think this team is better than we were a year ago, but we're not playing better. I just think we've got more in this team than how we've played. In fact, I might not watch as much if I didn't think this team had it in them to be a better team. But I want to go to every game because I want to watch Puljujarvi play. I want to watch Draisaitl play. Draisaitl has some sick passes sometimes that I love watching him play. And people, geez, I don't remember who it was. Maybe Alex. It might have been James. We're talking about McLellan possibly losing the room and Draisaitl playing like he was a little lazy. I think Draisaitl looks lazy, but the guy's fast and he's shifty, and I think that's just the way he plays, and I like watching him play. I like his passing. I like a lot of things about how he plays. He's just he's shifty, and it's not that he's been without chances. He had a couple of steals right near the blue line where he put the puck out front. Once to McDavid, Halak was right there. Positionally, Halak was there all night. They weren't, super great. It was in a little bit tight, but Draisaitl was the guy that led that, and we just didn't get the finish tonight. I think that as a fan, I'm excited to watch these guys play. I think there's more in them than what we've seen. Hopefully, we see that sooner than later. I'm going to be at the home opener on the 18th. Go see Making Coco on the 17th. By the way, follow my Twitter feed this week. I've got a couple extra tickets to Making Coco. I'll do a tweet draw for those, like I was doing for the preseason tickets earlier this year. So I think we're about 5 minutes away from midnight. You can call in if you can. Get me right now, 587-907-5483. I suspect a good bunch of people have retired for the night. We're still getting a few people, still some commentary on the Periscope feed. So to get there, you go to my profile on Oilers Live podcast on Twitter, and my live feed is right near the top. You'll see the red live setting, and then if you click where it says Oilers Live Radio, that'll take you to the Periscope feed, and then you can watch, and there's live commentary there. James is in, a lot of people in there, and discussing the game. James said maybe we should give Nylander an offer sheet. What do you think? I know we're in cap trouble, so that's not going to happen. We've got a couple of things. Oh, we do have a caller in. Let's take this last call for the night. I don't know the name. Let me know. I should be on right now. Who's calling?
Hey, it's James.
Oh, hey.
It's James calling back again.
Awesome. All right. Last caller of the night.
Sorry, I didn't know I would be the last caller. I'd hate to end this on negativity, but why don't we screw over Toronto with an offer sheet?
Yeah, well, the problem with that, in my mind, because, I'm actually a little surprised there haven't been any offer sheets yet. But, Toronto has all the leverage right now because, what do they got, 4 of the top scorers in the league right now? Are they really missing Nylander, right? Like,
except they don't have that asset for trading him for a defenseman. Like I heard Morgan Riley just took over the I don't know. He's some sort of Superman as far as scoring points, but they're letting in every goal in the world, and they're running into the same problem the Oilers have basically all time. They just don't have any defensemen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're scoring lots, but they're losing 8-6. or 8-7.
I'm not a big fan of plus minus, but if you look at Austin Matthews' stats, he's 12 points in 5 games, which is outstanding. But he's also -1.
But if we offer sheet at 7.5 or 7.75, if they do decide to forego that asset, they don't have that asset this year, and if they do talk to us, we got to go, hey, Luch, we love you, but I'm sorry, man. You're the odd man out. You got to waive the no move. And the other side to that is if they do decide to accept at 7.75, then, they're pushing up against cap ceiling.
Yeah,
they're not matching at 8.5, right?
Yeah, as far as the Oilers go, though, right? I would actually suspect if we went 7.5 or anywhere over 7, Toronto would just, especially if it was the Oilers, given the way this team is a little bit fragile right now. They'd what's the compensation for a $7.5 million?
I believe it's a first and a third, but that doesn't have to happen for 2 years.
Yeah.
Let me just double check on that. It's not the 4 firsts overall though. So let's see here. Actually, I got it right up in front of me right now.
So a good I'm going to give a little shout out to one of my past guests is Puckpedia.
Oh, sorry, first, second, and a third.
Yeah. And you got 2 years for that?
Yeah, I believe you do have 2 years.
Yeah, I mean it is.
But I mean, you're not gonna argue with having a winger, a scoring winger on here. You're gonna have to have a tough conversation with Luch and just be like, hey, pick your team, kind of thing. But at that point, you have to move Luch. And I think he would do that. He has actually offered to do that. So, I'd like to see a little pressure applied in Toronto.
Yeah, my understanding is, back to the Lucic thing, he definitely, he did definitely ask for a trade, is my understanding. He didn't get it. Nothing, opened up. And he decided he would stick it out. I mean, he's played better. There's no doubt. If there's a chance that somebody might pick him up, and he continues to play the way he's playing, maybe there is a chance that somebody takes a run.
So,
and we'll take that.
I was reading Kurt Levin's report, and Kurt Levins was saying that he didn't ask for a trade. He went to Chiarelli and he said, hey, I know my contract is a big issue right now.
Yeah.
If you decide you need to move me to save your job, I appreciate you signing this contract. So I will not implement my no trade clause.
Yeah,
So that was from Kurt Levins.
Yeah, okay. Well, I would tell you, and all respect to Kurt, he's got some good stuff on the Cult of Hockey, but I don't think he's connected with the team. I'm maybe more likely to, and I don't know where he's getting his information. I haven't read that article. I'll maybe do a little search for it. Anyway, I guess back to the point, right? Like, the reality is there'd be a lot of moving parts in that. I would be scared to give up, those picks if you get them. Nylander to me is still a bit of a question mark, right? Like
obviously the hope is they just go, oh, you know what? We don't want to lose an asset this year, and basically, I mean, the only time it would be an advantage to them to start the rebuild is if they thought that they weren't on the precipice of something. They think they're on the precipice of winning 5 cups, right? And they just want to get everyone under the cap. And my idea would be to squeeze them out of the cap.
Yeah, they've got their own problems, right? Like Dubas said he can keep all 3 of them together. Tavares, Marner, and Matthews, and Nylander. We're all 4 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't see it. I mean, just go.
Not if he wants defense.
Yeah, Matthews. They asked him, "What do you think about Shanahan's comments that you'll take less?" And Matthews just said, look, that's what my manager does, right? And or the reality, or my agent, that's what my agent looks after. And the reality is his agent will look after him. If you've got, if Matthews continues on the pace that he's on, and there's no way in hell that he's going to take, less than Connor for one. And
mm-hmm.
You've got Marner next year, who's an RFA, who, if you don't sign him long term, what are you going to bridge him? Or is he sitting out? And you've got Nylander, who's waiting for his. They've got about $12 million. Go to Puckpedia, go to the Toronto Maple Leafs. You've got SPR absolutely hates this guy, but Jake Gardiner, who's waiting to be signed. Their defense is awful right now defensively. What are you going to do to shore up that defense with the cap space that they have? They're just not going to be able to keep this team together past next season. And they might. It's just that they really, and the only reason they'll be able to is most of those young guys are RFAs next year, but they're all going to be on bridges. And going into in my mind, Toronto, they made a calculated risk that they would have the team they're having this year. They've got maybe until 2020, the 2020-21 season, to really make a splash and do something. It is, it's going to be interesting. I just don't see. Especially
I would just love for the Oilers to be putting the pressure on Toronto. Especially after the Matthews versus McDavid thing today. I would just love for the Oilers organization to throw the finger back at Toronto. So that's where the idea for the. What's that?
Was it Ferraro that brought that up?
No, it wasn't. Ferraro today said quite clearly on his Twitter that Matthews is better than McDavid, and then he changed it to, McDavid is better, but Matthews is 1A. And he when Twitter exploded with all the Oilers fans. Oh, I don't even think it was all the Oilers fans. I think it was all hockey fans who just blew up at Ferraro for his favoritism. Then he backed off his opinion that Matthews was better than McDavid. Next question for you, and it kind of ties in. Do you think McDavid actually negotiated 3.2 or 13.25 and then backed off, or was that always the marketing plan?
He's worth that, if not more.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not arguing about. We got him on a deal, but do you think like they actually listened to Twitter for 24 hours and then backed off $750,000, or was that just we need to soften this up?
You know,
And do you think they're going to do the same thing with Matthews?
yeah, there's a lot of things that go into it, right? So obviously, what a team does for a player, right, is more than just what their annual contract is. And so, you might, they might say, look, can you accept this? We can do this for the cap, but hey, Daryl Cates, is good friends with the CEO of, XYZ Corp, and they really need, they need you as the spokesman for, Wheaties, right? Like, we'll get you that contract. Um, I think there's a lot of things that factor in, and so while I think
You
that
think Cates does his banking at the IBC?
yeah, well, yeah, I mean that's good, good point, right? Like, there's all of that. I mean, for McDavid, a player of that caliber to sign in Canada, I think means more for him, right? Like in terms
Mm-hmm.
of promotions and that, and Edmonton, while we don't get all the love in Toronto that we want, and just quick thanks to Glenn Ma for listening tonight. He's on his way off. Anyway, Edmonton's got great fans. Like, yeah, despite the negativity on Twitter sometimes, and wanting to pull my hair out because of some of the crap that I read, we've got great fans. We're there through just about everything. If I'm a player of McDavid's caliber, there's three hockey mad markets that you might want to play in if you're looking for promotional dollars. And at 13.5 million, right? I mean, you go. The reality is
Yeah, his lifestyle doesn't change with 12.5 versus 13.25.
that's right.
Like that, to me, that doesn't change for him, right? It's like when a billionaire loses $100 million. So his lifestyle doesn't change.
Yeah,
So,
and that's exactly.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I don't know. I would just like to add a little pressure in Toronto because I mean they sit there and their fans are so annoying, and they're just like, oh, we've got the next 20 cups locked up. Well, yeah, no, that doesn't work, and the whole they're trying to say, Matthews better than McDavid. Well, he's not better than Line A, so you gotta get over a few of those people first. You gotta have more than 70 points in the season. But,
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100% agree with you. And we'll the season's still early, so we're gonna see how that plays out. Hey, James, I think I'm gonna call it for the night. We're close to quarter after 12. Thanks again.
all right, thanks for taking my second call.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate it. And call in next Thursday. I'm gonna be I'll be at the game, so I'll be live streaming from the Hotel McDonald, probably in the same floor as some of the Boston Bruins. And so if anybody's around, and feel free.
If I'm in a hotel room, I will definitely do that. I'm going to be on my journey, starting my journey down to Antarctica at that point. So
that's right.
I will send you pictures, but I may or may not be available via Wi-Fi.
Well, that is awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see. Of course, that's not. I mean, how many people have been out there? Probably not very many, right?
Not very many.
Yeah.
No, there's probably less than 10,000 every summer. So, and that's just in the last 20, 30 years. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, are you going for work or for a pleasure trip?
Work.
Work. Awesome. Okay. Well, definitely report back.
I'll send you pictures. I'll keep you updated on the journey. While I'm down there, I won't be able to send you much, and I don't think Twitter's available. So it'll be December when I update you. I'll give you a data blast.
Awesome. Yeah, you know what? Taking a break from Twitter is never a bad thing. So just
intentional or not.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you calling in, and we'll get you when you can, when you're back. Thanks so much.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Bye. So this is it. We're going to shut the show down here right away. I'm not taking any more calls. Just want to say thank you to everybody that has called in tonight. It was great. It was a good show. I had lots of people call in, lots of commentary on Twitter and through a couple through YouTube, some direct messages, Twitter notifications, streaming live on Facebook and Twitch and all of these different places. So all good, and a lot of fun. Going to keep doing this and hopefully have some good guests on as we go. Anyway, have a good night. Remember, register for the Oilerslive Cup. It's free. We're going to take voluntary donations in support of the Chinook Autism Society. Lots of people coming together for this. What a great group we have here. I talk about the Twitter negativity, but the reality is all the folks on Twitter are exceptional. These Oilers fans, while we bitch and complain, and we've got the right to bitch and complain after 11 of 12 seasons, we are a giving and a great group of fans. And I suspect we are going to make a difference for some autism families that need it. And so if you can't attend the Oilers Live Cup on December 9th, please reach out to me and I'll tell you how you can donate through Inclusion Lethbridge, and you can get a tax receipt, and 100% of this money is going to the Chinook Autism Society. And one of our listeners and one of the Twitter folks from Oilers Twitter at Rudistic is an autism parent, and he is the inspiration for why we chose this charity, and it's noble. In the next couple weeks, we'll do a little campaign just around autism. Get information from Autism Speaks. It's a website. I've learned a lot in the little bit of time since I started this Oilers Live Cup. It is worth looking into and getting an understanding. Of course, as years go by, we learn more about things like autism, and it never hurts to have a little bit of awareness. But this donation can go and directly support, a couple of low-income families, get some sensory tools that'll help, their children that are going suffering with autism. So, again, thanks for listening, guys. Be back on for sure next Thursday, and maybe we'll do, a post-game Saturday. Don't know yet. We'll decide as it is, but Thursdays we're on. Please follow me on Twitter. I will be doing a tweet draw on Twitter about for the Making Coco movie. I've got a couple extra tickets So we'll give those away. Probably just retweet and then draw, retweet and follow, if you will. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Oilers Live. I need some subscribers there. I need to hit 100. Support your fellow Oilers Twitter fans. Their websites, guys like the Hockey Writers and Beer League Heroes and the Oil Night. You know, none of these people do it because they're making, you know, tons of money. But they're all enjoyable reads. They all have something to say, and we're all big fans, really, at the end of the day. So support them. You know, read their articles. You know, there are guys that get paid to do, you know, have their careers to do what we're doing for fun, and you know, I'm just, as for me, I'm just trying to put out something that's worth listening to, and everybody has fun calling in. So anyway, thanks again. Have a great night, and I'm signing out for now. By the way, I don't know if you heard, I have a new theme song I'm going to integrate into the Oilers Live podcast, and I'll finish off with that.
Now, get ready to talk hockey. Streaming from the Oilers Live studio. Subscribe or follow today.
And have a great night.
Oilers Live